Everyone, welcome to Office Hours. This is the WWDC test for how we're going to do this later. So we're testing this right now and just seeing how the process goes and how the live stream goes and how it starts. So let us know inside of Mukana what you think of that. I'm here with Carl. Carl is coming in from Australia, Adelaide. So he's here talking to us here, and we also have Taylor, who is coming in from Cincinnati, I believe. Jeffrey is coming in from Madison, Wisconsin. This is really going to test me to go through all of these. And also we have Hosmuk coming in from Cape Town, South Africa. Jesse coming in from Los Angeles. And finally, we have Richard coming in from Belfast in the UK. So now, do you see? Yeah. So I won't get into that. I was like UK or anyway. Anyway, so we're all here. We're all talking. So the question that I have for Carl is, what do you think of the new format? How does it working for you? And if you're watching here, you can use Mukana to ask questions. In fact, we'd like to have folks who are watching jump into Mukana. And you should be able to watch the show in Mukana. If you went to our website and clicked through it, you'll be able to see it there. But let us know how it looks, and also throw the questions in. Carl, how's it working for you?
So I'm liking the 18% grey background for the 7-Up. I'm also liking the logo with the sheen on the edges of the windows, as well as the sheen on the logo itself, so they match up as well. And I'm liking the square format for the 7-Up as well. Well, it's slightly square. I think it's almost a square.
Yeah. I think we went to 2x3 or something like that. Taylor, what do you think? How do you think it looks?
Well, I think it looks awesome. I would say I'm primarily a radio guy, so to be able to see the TV end of things, to me, is just absolutely fascinating. But I do like the format, the setup, the coloration, the way the boxes are laid out. I think it's fascinating. I really do.
Yeah, and what we're hoping to do is get some questions into Mukana. Just throw some general stuff in, whatever you'd like us to talk about. Jeffrey, what do you think?
Well, I'm looking at the multi-up, and the only thing I'm thinking is should that be centered, or should the Office Hours logo be moved up, or something put on the other corner? Because I think it would be an OCD thing to see something missing there.
Yeah. I think that, we'll figure out. Maybe we'll add something to the other side there. Go ahead, Hosmuk. What do you think?
This is awesome to be part of this. I thought I had learned everything over a year. Now you just keep moving the threshold. And I think that's what we do. Push the boundary to its edges, very sharp edges. Fantastic. Yeah. Really fantastic.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, I like the look. I like the 2:3 aspect ratio of each of us. I'm not that bothered by the logo just to one side and nothing on the other. Are we able to put the logo, though, in the middle? Is that an option?
No, because we have, we'll see in a second, we have a reason that we have the logo off to one side is because we have to insert stuff into that lower area there. So that's probably why we have the pocket there. Go ahead. Richard, what do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting because after a long time of being used to being muted and a long time of used to seeing everyone else in the web background, it's kind of weird being just the 7 of us in a tiny box. Yeah. And the way I've got myself set up with Zoom on second screen, I can't pin anything to that second screen because of Zoom. So I'm just talking to myself, which is weird.
So you have it. So you can't pin the the way you have it set up.
So you can't pin it not to the second screen. The way Zoom works, isn't it, is that you can't, when you've only 2 people in the meeting, you can only pin to your first screen, not to your second screen. So I can only see myself on my prompter.
Or switch which screen is which by changing.
I can do, but
system.
Then I didn't do that because of muting. I was worried about muting, so I need access to that button. For free.
Right. Let's jump into some comments and questions here. So we've got the first one we have here, and you guys should still see the same telestrator or teleprompter view that works there, and I'll push this to the outer there. So the first comment from Dave Kaufman from Vancouver, British Columbia says, "Nice name logo, but it'd be nice to have similar bugs in the gallery view." So there's our little section there. Probably, I think that I know that the line is matching. It looks a little thicker actually than the ones that are going around. We probably want to This is for graphics. So we probably want to thin that line out around in the outer edge just a little bit. It's a little thicker, especially to get closer to the office hours one that it's sitting right next to. So let's take a look at doing that right now, if we can. Just go ahead and go in and edit that out there. Next question that we have, or next comment here, Tom Wineland says that it is looks great in YouTube, Alex and the panel. So good. Things are starting to work out there. And if people want to ask us longer questions, the reason we want to do that is we want to test what happens as we do those longer questions as we move forward with that. Taylor says, Alex has Twitter handle, not city and state. Are we doing city and state or Twitter handle? I actually think we should do city and, well, we'll have who people are, because like where they're coming from for the most part. So we're not worried about as much about that. So I think that's kind of where we're going there. Oops, and I blew that one because I didn't go to the outer third. So here's Dave Kaufman says, do panelists have an IFB comms? I think a lot of, we have IFB comms. So we're hearing Nate's able to talk to us the whole time while we're going through this. And we were able to we got the pre-fader thing working so that not only that, we can talk to each other before the show, so we can, interact and hang out together. So that's working well. Thanks to Andy and Mickey for putting that together. TJ Asher says, are we supposed to be getting audio and video from the event video into Zoom, or is Zoom a second screen experience? And the goal is to have Zoom be a second screen experience in the same way that we do the keynote. And the reason for that is that way people can watch it how they want to watch it, and then they can keep on discussing it and have it not mixed in. I'm still trying to figure out which is the best way to do that, but I feel like it's better to let everybody talk for a variety of reasons. It's better as we look at a larger model around that. We have from a copyright perspective, it's better for us to do it that way. Carl, what do you think?
Yeah, so having it as a second screen experience. So if you're in the meeting, the Zoom meeting, and you could be like 25, 49 of yous, you're right, you can talk to each other without the program drowning you out. Right. So yeah, it makes it a little bit easier. And then you can manage yourself how much program you want in your ears and how much Zoom meeting you want in your ears.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesse, what's your opinion?
I'm sorry, I'm a little lost. I don't quite get what the second screen experience is that you're talking about.
It just means that you're watching Zoom by itself, and you're all the people are together in Zoom, but there's no program going into it. People are just watching they're watching Zoom. They're in Zoom, but they can watch it on an Apple TV, on their phone or iPad, or even on the computer. We don't pump the actual show into Zoom. Is the thing that we're not doing here, and probably won't do. And same thing we do it for Keynote. Hosmuk, do you have an opinion about that? No opinion.
I think I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Jason Sipe is asking, will there be a generalized lower third with all the panelists on screen when not answering questions from Mukana? I guess that's the question is will there be lower thirds for everyone during the generalized? I don't think we're going to end up doing that. Putting lots of, we've done it for a lot of shows, but putting lower thirds across everybody the whole time is sometimes a little bit cumbersome, for a variety of design and logistical reasons. Jeffrey, do you have any opinion about that?
Yeah, I think if we're in this multiplex mode, that keeping it without lower thirds is keeping it cleaner. And then when people talk, having the lower third pop up and then disappear after a few seconds. Perfect.
That's great. We got next question is from Dave Kaufman. He said, is someone switching the panelists, or is it hinted from Zoom? And in this case, it's Nate. Nate is switching right now. He's in the back end, switching between this open view as well as going back and forth to the singles that you're seeing there. Daniel Goldstein asks, can you run through your signal flows? What's making the multi-view, lower thirds, comms, switch control? Yeah, it is it's a complicated one. I don't know if we can do the whole thing here, but we got a couple minutes to talk about it. I think a lot of questions coming in about this, but we have individual Zoom rooms going into those breakout rooms. That's how the video is getting back to master control. Or going into the router and then into the switcher, and then the switcher just switches it. What we see is actually a multi-view from the switcher, and so that's coming back to us. And then then it goes out. The switcher output goes out to the encoder. The audio is much more complicated. It's Dante going in, via Dante into the mixer into the 806, the comms into the 806, the composite of those, and all of that stuff comes back into the show as well as into all of our returns. So it's something probably is a whole second hour of how we make this thing work, which we will do. And the goal is for everyone to understand how we do it, and then for everyone else to, and also get people that are interested to keep playing and trying it out as we go and working on the show as we move. We're hoping it's going to be a training thing. Do you think, Carl, that's something you'll want to do, is try to run the show remotely from Adelaide?
I would like to try that. That'd be a lot of fun.
It'd be good. What do you think, Richard, from Belfast?
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I mean, just the fact that we've got, Australia, UK, America all together, pretty low latency,
and Africa,
having a conversation.
So we're doing 4 continents right now.
Amazing.
In a pretty seamless way.
Then having crew everywhere would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is really a perfect example of a cloud event there. Dave Kaufman says, this is a longer question with a length preamble so that it makes no particular point, but it tests the auto flow of the text box in the question box. And I'm going to challenge our viewers to make even a longer question and add a note. I want to see what we do here. We're going to try to break this thing. So try to run out of characters. There are a character limit, and what you want to do is do the best you can to run out of those. Alex 40 Golner says the time on the countdown clock was slightly cropped on the left visible when the time goes down to leading zeros. So we'll have to, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. That's going to be a thing for me. I have to figure out. And so that's something that we'll have to kind of take a look at in the graphic there. And I think I'm probably going to update that myself a little bit. I want to do some 3D text in there just for fun, because I like that kind of thing. So, we'll play with that a little bit. The next question comes from Tony Lothian. Says, with such a clean look, do the panelist backgrounds matter more? Jesse, what do you think? Now that we've moved it here, does it push up the game?
Yeah, I do think the backgrounds matter more because everyone's just more front and center. I know not everybody can do a physical background, but if it would be more cohesive if everyone could do, I think, like the room they're in, as opposed to just a solid, or we should maybe all do solid. That's just, I kind of feel like it should be one way or the other for the most professional look.
I kind of like the idea of having different colors, like a light for every person, and then having different colors that are just slightly different behind each one, and have them all solid would be kind of an interesting look, but it could be really weird too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think if it were just cohesive, at one point with Chris Summers on some other project, we were talking about that. He made the analogy that if all our backgrounds were like playing cards, so it's in the same family, it's related, They can be different. So if each person has a different color, a little in the same family, but this all pastels or something to that effect. Yeah.
What do you think, Cosmo? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I'm working from home, so I've got this background here. Normally, we've got that gray background. I think if everybody's in a gray background, it's for the host maybe a little challenging to identify quickly. So I think that addition of the color should make a significant difference.
Yeah. Jeff Francis said, could you pull other meeting participants into the show? How would they have to need to change their audio since they're listening to Zoom and Makana? How much latency jump would there be? In actuality, we could do that. We already tested that last week. It was just a little rough. And so for Monday, my plan is not to do that for the first show that we do with this, or the first one that we're going to kind of spin this out. So we're not going to do it for the first one. Thursday, we may do that. So it's just, Friday was a rough day. So it's had me kind of re-gear what I'm doing there. So we're going to be a little bit more conservative for Monday, and then on Thursday we'll probably have the panelist. We probably will jump to the panelist. We just have to figure out what we're going to do. Is probably end up having. I have to build another thing where basically the panelists go into their own breakout room. The ones that we'll include into that, and they'll have to all have really good audio and video to do that. So there'll be a kind of another room there. I just want to try to, because of the number of people coming and the fact that it's still a little, the concrete's still a little wet, we're going to be careful on Monday. And then again, we're going to keep on tweaking it. We're going to do a whole event tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we'll do another regearing. Thursday, we'll do another regearing. And then Thursday night, we'll probably be much more aggressive about what we do with the program. Daniel Goldstein says, what audio is the audio-only mobile stream? I don't know if anyone wants to describe. Jeffrey, are you familiar with the audio-only mobile stream? Am I throwing you something that you're not ready for?
Oh, the Makana mobile stream?
Yeah. I'm just testing, throwing something to you.
I have a basic idea of it, but it's using third-party software.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it too.
Yeah, Shoutcast. So basically what happens is Mickey pulls it in to his computer. He does Mickey magic. So there's some compression, there's some EQ, there's a bunch, and then more compression, and then he pushes it out to the stream. So it actually the audio version of our conversation, if you're listening, is actually better than the video version because of that. Next question comes from Jonathan Daggle. He said in Washington, D.C., he says, can you keep the OH logo on the lower left when you switch to an individual view? Is it intentional not to show it in those views? It's not, I think that we just try to keep it clean, and so I think that we have the lower third in there right now that we moved there. So there'd be some rearranging. We had to put the lower third on the other side, and there's a bunch of other things there. So that's why we chose to turn it off, is just have it slick. I try not to have, we want to have graphics, obviously, but we're also trying to keep it as kind of clean as possible when it comes to that. Chris Widner sent us a really long one. I'm not going to try to read it. I'm just simply going to put it up, and we're going to take a look at it. So that does look like it's the max. I'm hoping that's where we got the we got to the max there. I think that one thing that we need to, what I'm concerned about is someone adding a note and whether it'll display or not when we push it out. So if someone can do that and do a long one like this and then add a note, I'm not sure if it'll stack up, into it. I realize that we haven't tested that note capability with the lower third capability.
Is that the same as? Is that the same as office hours? Because on Saturday somebody was doing that. They were extending the question into the note.
No, that's fine. That's why I'm trying to figure it out. Is that we don't usually use it for the lower third output, so we just haven't had that problem. Next one is, can Jeffrey move a little to his right? He seems to be hugging the side with the square frame.
Yeah, I was earlier. I did. Am I centered now?
Almost centered. You're just a little to the right. Yeah, if you look at your shoulders, you can see it. There you go, right down the middle. And I went black again. So I don't know where that black. So I'm just going to keep talking there, and then I came back. So we're going to have to figure that out. I might want to use a different computer for whatever we're doing here, a different route, because that doesn't seem to work. We'll have to figure out what's going on there. So that's a test that's something new, a new problem that we're working on there. So next is from Kyle Hammond, and he also gave us a long one. A very long sentence. These seem to work pretty well. So it looks like we're able to keep those in. It looks kind of nice. I mean, when it stacks up there, it just fills up. So that part is that part's working well as far as we go through this. Next question is from Dave Kaufman. He said, as a panelist, can you tell us what you are seeing and hearing? Do you want to go ahead, Carl, tell us what you're seeing and hearing?
So what we're seeing is a 10 up. So that's essentially what you'd see out of an A10 Mini Pro or A10 Mini Extreme. So we've got two large up the top and 8 down the bottom. The 8 down the bottom are populated with the panelists. The two up the top, the one on the left is the program going out, and the one on the right is a fixed fixed 7 up of all of us. So we can see how we fit into our boxes even when we're not in the program.
And I realized that Jason Sipe put in testing the flagging system. My request right now is for, here we go. This is someone put a note in that got flagged. So people have been, and Jason, I even moved it and it said testing the flagging system. So now we'll try deleting that. I wonder if it'll delete. It doesn't delete from, it's interesting. It doesn't delete from the, if everyone puts in you don't have to don't put an inappropriate comment, but practice, just say inappropriate comment. Don't put an inappropriate comment into Makana. Just say inappropriate comment. and just everyone just throw those into Makana for a second, and then other people flag those. Just you'll see a little flag next to it, and if other people can do that, we can just make sure that that mechanism is working as we expect. So just type in inappropriate comment to that process there. All right. So the next question is from Tom Wineland. He says, "What is the max amount of people in boxes that you have with you, Alex?" Right now, the maximum number that we're set up for is 8. Eight is the total number that we can do right now. Jason Sipe said that's the test of the flagging system. So I'll close that one up. Let's grab another set of questions here. And of course, we'll talk more generally as we go through this stuff. We're going to take one from Hosmuk. He said, for OH attendees in the meeting, is there any delay from what we see on the panel as the 6 hosts versus what they would see? So it'd be great to get their view if it mattered. So, and people, please go ahead and type in inappropriate content, and other people, if you're not typing that in, flag it. And then we'll see what happens here as I go delete. Yeah, it's working. So that's all working fine, and I went black again. So we're going to try to figure out what that is. That's a good thing. That's why we test things, is to figure out why we're getting a flickering connection there. So that'll be something we'll dig up, and we'll probably have to build some kind of backup to make sure that doesn't happen during the actual show. So it's good that we're testing this and doing it exactly the way we're doing it here. Here's another one that's really long. And again, my request is someone puts in one that's really long and then add a note to it. This one probably will fit fine, but we need to add the longest one we can do and then add a note to the end of it and add as much as we can into the note. And Nate, you should see that longer lower third. It probably fits still into that structure there. So I guess we're not. Maybe I don't know if it's pushing or not, Nate. With the lower third, there we go. So that one is getting pretty close. Oh, there's the note too. So the note, so it will continue to push up. So one of the things that means is that for all of you who like to use the note, that I may, if I'm concerned that you've written one too long, I may not choose it. So adding a really long one. Oh, there's a really long one coming. So we'll see if we can break this. In fact, I'll bring. I don't know what that was.
Alex, question for you.
Yeah.
So I have a honking brigade because of a graduate that's across the street. Should I be muting when that happens, or just
we don't hear
keep it unmuted?
Yeah, we don't hear it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
So the another one is Taylor asks, where does the Apple event video come into the show? So that Taylor. What we're doing is we're going to, you watch it wherever you want to watch it. Watch it in Mukana, watch it on the website, watch it on Apple TV, wherever you want, on YouTube, whatever you want to watch it, and then you're just in the meeting talking about it. It's kind of Mystery Science Theater style for that process. And for Jeffrey and anyone else that wants to be in the background, take a look at those reported ones. If people report anymore, and try experimenting with, it's right next to recent. You'll see reported. You can see those and delete them if they're there. And people can go ahead and keep on putting inappropriate comments. Don't put the actual inappropriate comments. Just put in ones that say that, so that we can use those as a flagging system there. There are things that you won't. There are a lot of inappropriate things that are difficult to say in Mukana because it actually filters it out. And that's a list that no one should have to look at. Craig McFarlane says, as mentioned in the green room, if we're watching, if watching on YouTube, we get pulled into the panel, they'll lose 10 to 30 seconds of discussion that might be confusing. Yes. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons we're not going to do it immediately, but we're going to do it for Thursday. My plan is to bring the panel in for that. So we're just going to get one piece working, and then we'll get the other piece working. What do you think of that process, Carl?
So yeah, getting, let's say we've got the 8 spot now, we've got 7 up. So if that 8 spot went out to where we could actually bring in the panel, the speaker of the panel to come in, you're right, it can be, we tried it last week. It worked but it wasn't running as smooth as how we're running now. So the experience we're having now is much smoother this week than we had last week. So if we can actually work out how we can smoothly get that coming into us,
right.
Having them, so we don't have any bugs down the bottom from Zoom either. So you'd have to do like 107% Zoom on that coming in as well. So that person comes in clean without any bugs in the lower corners and stuff as well.
And here you can see where we're playing with 2 up there. So I think that went well. That worked well as far as mixing it up a little bit. And we still have room for any kind of question that we may do there. Next question is from Dave Kaufman and said, it was pretty cool to have a couple dozen panelists. What's the max number of participants in this model? Currently 8, eventually as many as we want. It's not, I think that I feel that the maximum number of panelists that makes sense is 32. Like, I think that's where we'll stop eventually is just 32. But we're going to get there slowly, just because it's a lot of infrastructure on our end to make all of that work. And there's some stuff with Zoom ISO that isn't done yet that allows us to bring everybody in kind of, ad hoc. Answering another one from Dave Kaufman. Hey, hi, Nate. I got used to hearing your IFB backstage. Maybe we can hear that sometime. Yeah. Down the road, I think that's a pretty good idea. Hosmuk, did you enjoy the behind the scenes for Mad in the Kitchen?
Yeah, I did. It was very useful. Learned a lot on how to do things and how not to do things.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Richard? What did you think?
Yeah, no, it's been very helpful because we're coming from a background in theatre and moving over to kind of what we've now deemed as live performance, just because it's going to transcend different genres, and having the language of the TD, something that we will have never encountered before because we have our own theatrical language, it's been very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's working pretty well as far as throwing those things around. And I think that we're doing pretty well. So this is our test. So the big thing that we learned on this one is that most of the stuff is all working. I think that those are things. And I think that Tim McCullough, this is something that we can do also if we want to. So I'm going to take, maybe I can't. Hold on a second. Interesting. Something got removed from Makana that I have to go check, but we're not going to add it today. So there used to be a push that I could push comments straight in. So we'll see what happened to that. Anyway, so Tim was saying that he has to keep on muting YouTube. Yeah, you'll have to. The way to do this is really to watch it, to integrate that. Figure out a way to integrate it. The easiest way to do it is to watch it on desktop, and then you can play with what you want to do there and how you do it. It's just the main thing is people can watch it in a lot of different ways. What I do is one ear in each one. Like that's how I've been doing the ones with the keynote, is I just have one ear in each one. Otherwise, I think that this is working pretty well. I think that I think this is starting to
Alex,
work well.
might I make one suggestion?
Yeah.
At the opening of the show, when you're giving instructions to the audience, would it help to have a lower third indicating where you want the audience to go for questions, etc.?
I think that everyone watching will know where to go with those, but I'll point them towards office hours if they're watching on YouTube. I'll just say, if you're on YouTube, and we'll make sure to have a link put into the event, the YouTube event, that has a link back to officehours.global, because once they get there, they'll be able to push right into Makana. So there's a link. There'll be a link this afternoon that you just click on it, and it's not embedded. Makana's not embedded in. It just sends you to Makana. so you're just okay. You'll be straight in. You'll just go straight there and have to register into that there. So so that'll be So that's what we got there. But I think that overall, I think the show is actually working. So Nate, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up? I got to tell you that I didn't say wrap it up. That was not a good thing to send to Nate, so I didn't give him any warning at all. So the way that we'll wrap these shows up is I will go. Thanks everybody. It's really great. Carl, Taylor, Jeffrey, Hosmuk, Jesse. Richard, it's just really, really great to have you here. Thanks for being part of the test. Thanks for doing those things. Thanks for the viewers for watching all of these things and watching all your great questions and all your great interaction. I'm going to jump into the post show with our office hours folks, and we'll see what they think about that. And until Thursday, we're going to do this again, and we'll do this again. If you want to join, just it'll be the same place, same bat time, just Thursday night, and so you can come in here and join that conversation once again. So we look forward to having you, and thanks so much for watching.